Hey, what's up guys? It's Corey here with Dapper Dollars, and today we're going to talk about how Hyliion is finally being validated and what they're doing and how there are potentially more orders coming in the future. You ready? Let's get started. So this channel is all about using the online income opportunities like merch by Amazon and Etsy to build our income online and then invest this income in things like the stock market and real estate. If that sounds like something you're interested in, like and subscribe, and let's get started. So what Hyliion did was participated in the Northwest Natural Loan Program for the trucking industry in the Oregon space. And this is great for Hyliion because Oregon is really known for being one of the industry leaders as far as reducing the emissions expectations of Class 8 trucks as far as diesel trucks in their state. And so if Hyliion can operate in those conditions and prove that they are able to outperform or keep up with the other competitors, while providing a carbon negative solution, this is going to mean that Hyliion is an amazing option for these companies. And this is really what was most important about all of this. Now, what happened was Hyliion sent one CNG truck of theirs to 3 different companies. Now, the CNG truck is, I'll put it up on the screen, a truck that uses compressed natural gas to fuel the battery or the battery charging of the vehicle. The battery then powers the powertrain, and then the resistance from the powertrain also recharges the battery. So it is in a constant state of charging and expelling energy and then replenishing energy. And it is one of those options that basically uses is a hybrid model. So basically think of turning a Class 8 truck into a Prius, and now you have a good idea of exactly what this is doing for the Class 8 trucking industry, and how it could potentially give Hyliion a massive advantage as far as bringing trucks to a massively lower carbon emission standard. So there are 3 companies that participated in this program: Baker Rock, Tillamook, and Cal Portland. These are 3 companies that chose to not partner with, but to use the truck loan program through Hyliion to test out Hyliion's hybrid powertrain solution and give their opinion as far as what it was able to do and whether or not it was actually going to help their companies. And this is a great opportunity because it is going to be put through a bunch of different situations. Baker Rock is one of those companies that is a landscaping company. Tillamook is obviously a dairy company, which is, hauling, cheese to back road places. So it's going to have to navigate on narrow 2-lane roads. And the Calport is a company that is in concrete and heavy duty construction materials and stuff like that. So again, that is going to test Hyliion's ability to produce power and to handle well under those extreme loads that diesel trucks are used to handling with. But we're going to see what exactly these companies had to say and whether or not it was a good thing for Hyliion. But before we do that, we are looking through the lens of being investors. So what does that mean, and what should we be looking for whenever we look at this report? And is it going to be a good report for Hyliion, or is this just a nothing burger? Well, we are looking at this, like I said, through the lens of investors. That means that we are looking at this through the lens of basically accountants within this company. So we're looking at things like, does Hyliion actually reduce the fuel consumption of these trucks? Does Hyliion make it possible for them to do what they're doing with less time? And is it going to be a cost-effective solution? So, are they actually able to do everything they're doing with less fuel? And is it going to take less time? And is this powertrain going to cost way more than they're expecting in the future? So basically, is the powertrain going to cost $200,000, but we're really only going to save $180,000? So the cost effectiveness of Hyliion in the future. Those 3 things are the main factors that we need to look at as far as being investors to judge whether or not this loan program was actually successful for Hyliion, because it could be successful in the sense that it lowered emissions and people think it's a great idea. However, if it doesn't save the companies on the bottom line, they are not going to do it. And that is just the reality of the situation. And we need to remember that at the end of the day, these are all businesses, and while they are environmentally focused, they are also focused on the fact that they need to keep the lights on, and you need money to keep the lights on and not just a negative carbon standard. So with all of that being said, those are the standards that I'm going to use to judge, and I'm going to be looking for to judge whether or not what they did with these companies was actually successful, and if it is going to be something that these companies are actually looking forward to in the future. So after the results after this 3-week loan program with Hyliion, the companies came back and said what their results were. And we're going to start off with Baker Rock. And Keith Peel is the VP of Marketing who decided to give his thoughts on how Hyliion did. And he said the demonstration was a success and he plans to add to their fleet. This is amazing because it is a firm commitment that they are saying publicly that they plan to add Hyliion to their fleet. And they are a construction and landscaping materials company, like I said before. So Hyliion was able to demonstrate that the power was not lost there, and they were able to navigate even with being a compressed natural gas truck and also a hybrid added to that. So that is a great thing, and it is a firm commitment and a indication that Hyliion is able to produce the power, save them time and money, and able to handle the payload as well. So now let's move on to Tillamook and see what Tillamook has to say. And just a heads up, the grades that they give Hyliion slightly decline as we go through these interviews. So anyway, let's look at Tillamook and see what they said. They were assessing, at the end of this interview, they said that they were assessing the potential to replace diesel trucks with Hyliion powertrains. And this is good because it is a soft commitment, and I think it is a wise position for Tillamook to take. Baker Rock, they could be, very sold on what Hyliion is doing, and it was a no-brainer for them. However, I think Tillamook took a very measured response here, and they gave a great answer that said that they are basically looking at everything as they can see it, and if it's going to be a good idea for them to do it. However, what they said next as far as this interview really gave away the ghost that they are likely going to be buying from Hyliion. And if this is a great thing to see as an investor, like I said, these are exactly the things that we're looking for these people to say. They said that it saved on fuel cost, boosted speed, and maintained power. So no power loss. They don't have to, worry about if this truck can actually handle everything. Boosted speed, so they were able to gain time, which means that it was more efficient, and reduce fuel costs. These are the 3 things, like I said, that we are looking for as a company to see whether or not it is worth investing in a new piece of equipment. They didn't address whether or not the cost of this product would actually be worth it. However, they didn't say that it would be a negative. So I guess from what they didn't say that this is going to be a positive thing for them. So Tillamook seems to be halfway on board, taking a halfway in stance. But we can see from what they're saying the benefits are of Hyliion that it is very likely that they will be adding to their fleets in the future, if not replacing all of their diesel trucks with Hyliion trucks. Now, we get to Cal Portland and Matthew Mayer, who is the Director of Fleet Management. And I do appreciate that the Director of Fleet Management is the one who spoke with the interviewer I think this was Business Wire that did this, because Keith Peel is the VP of Marketing, and Jocelyn Britson is the person who spoke for Tillamook, and she is the Director of Environmental and Communities. And so those 2 people are not exactly directly related to the trucking industry or trucking portion of their industry. They are in environmentals and in the marketing side. So I guess it kind of makes sense for them to be the ones to give their opinion on this. However, the Director of Fleet Management is definitely the one who is going to be making the decisions and who knows the most about it, which is probably why he was the most critical of Hyliion in this interview. And he said that Hyliion, the CNG model, is promising and has a great opportunity to be a value add in the future. And that is pretty underwhelming compared to the first 2 statements. The first 2 statements gave indications that they were definitely on board. They thought it was great. This guy says, hey, it's a great opportunity. I think it's a great value add for the people in the future, and it's an environmentally friendly option. And then the next statement was that it has the potential to lower the carbon footprint, and it is easy to operate. Again, a very underwhelming response to Hyliion's product. Now, this doesn't mean he never said that they wouldn't buy it, but he is saying that it is he's basically not indicating much of anything. He's just saying that it is what it is. Like, this is basically what y'all said that it was going to be. He didn't seem too overly impressed, and it seems like he trusts more in diesel than he does in the CNG solution that Hyliion offers. But this is still progress. And I think that Thomas Healy has a great opportunity to take this guy seriously and take it as constructive criticism and use it to, make what they're doing better, and then potentially wow the next person who is a fleet manager in the future. So, what is my opinion of all this, and where do I stand as far as Hyliion? Does this make it a buy? Does this make it a sell or a hold? Or what the heck is happening now with Hyliion? Because we've seen off of this news that Hyliion has risen pretty dramatically today and the last few days. And I mean, specifically, this information isn't what drove the last few days, but today specifically, we can definitely see that this news has impacted Hyliion stock. Now, this is, a 2 out of 3 situation. 2 out of 3 isn't bad. The first one was definitely a hard commitment. Second one was definitely a soft commitment. Third one was basically, is what it is. Thanks for bringing it by. Not that interested right now. So I think that this is a great opportunity for Hyliion. I would love to see more of these in the future. I think this loan program that they're doing is a fantastic solution to get their trucks out there, and it doesn't force people to spend their own money to be in a situation to, use Hyliion's trucks. It gives people an opportunity to have a soft commitment, and they don't have to put money down to do this. Thomas can just send the trucks to these random places. They can test them out, put them through the ringer, and this is basically having a different version of the ERX Council. This is obviously not the same thing as the hybrid ERX. The hybrid ERX is going to be a completely different model. This hybrid model is probably what is more sustainable for people right now in the trucking industry because it's using compressed natural gas instead of renewable natural gas, and it is also able to use diesel. There are different models that accept diesel as well. So right now, I think this is just a hold. I think this is definitely a great opportunity to, if you have bought in at the lower values, to just continue to hold. And if you have bought in like I did all the way from $36 to $9, this is just a hold for me right now. So anyway, it's great news, and I think we can expect a lot more of this in the future. I think they've definitely done a great job of proving the value of Hyliion and what they do. But anyway, I would love to know y'all's opinion because I know that y'all follow this company just as much as I do. So leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of this loan program, if you think it's successful, if you think it was wrong, if you think any of these people in these interviews were wrong, or what your stance on Hyliion is. I hope you guys are having a great day, and remember, someone is going to do something amazing every day, guys. Why not you? See ya.